Hey everybody, Chris Avalon here. Had to make this quick little video. I mean, I don't think it's gonna be quick because when I like to talk, I get to talking and it's a wrap. But one of the excuse me, one of the things I definitely felt like I needed to come online and speak about is two topics. Wait, hold on, because I'm like, y'all gonna think like, is there a goddamn earthquake somewhere? It ain't easy trying to hold up a camera, especially we trying to do everything guerrilla style. So as you can see, I'm live from prison. I'm kidding. Can you imagine me in jail? I wouldn't last up 5 motherfucking minutes. But no, I'm live from the Big Apple Circus, my humble abode, my little coffin, as I like to call it. Where I'll be doing a lot of my videos since I won't be able to do my videos where I've been doing them. But anyway, one of the topics that I wanted to get into talking about is what everybody is pretty much. Somebody I want to give my thoughts on it. The situation going on between Offset and Cardi B. Now, I don't like to speak ill will of people's relationships. I always think like if you're going to be in a relationship, make it work the best way you can. However, comma, semicolon, whatever kind of pronunciation you want to use after however, let's be real. I'll just speak for me. I did not think this relationship was going to last. When I heard that she married him, I was like, what the fuck is your malfunction? Why would you do something so stupid? But I get it. Cardi is from a time where she thinks by marrying a man who treats you like shit because of the environment in which she was brought up in, the hood, stripping, that sort of thing. I don't know if she's probably came from a single parent household. I don't know her background with her family and how men have treated her mother in the past. Probably she's been cheated on as well. So learned behavior is a learned behavior. So, and hurt people hurt people. So whatever you learn from your past, a lot of people tend to take that into their new life and carry it on and on and on. Very rarely do people break that cycle of not trying to follow in the footsteps of the way they were raised. Meaning, if you were abused by your parents, that you would do the total opposite with your kids and you wouldn't abuse them as the answer to trying to deal with whatever situation you're dealing with. So, okay, so I know I didn't say before, but there's two topics I want to talk about. I want to talk about Cardi B and her relationship with Offset, and I want to talk about Karamo Brown and a lot of the problematic things that he's been saying in the media as of late. But first, let me get back to Cardi. So, their relationship, I from the beginning did not think that it was even a thing that should have even happened. Yeah, you're hooked up with this dude. It should have been like y'all having fun, y'all doing this, that, and the other, whatever the case you want to call it. You should have never got knocked up by him. Or maybe that was his plan. Maybe he thought that, let me knock her up and then we'll be forever connected or whatever kind of financial situation could be going through. Because quite frankly, I really feel like I've never been into the Migos. I don't find their music that good at all. But I'm all about my Cardi B. Most of us gays, we love our female rappers. I like my male rappers as well, but I just can't get into the Migos and their mumble rapping and all that other shit. So their music has never really been my cup of tea, but I really feel like her and him being together, Cardi's pretty much upgraded Offset to the status of, say, like a Jay-Z and Beyonce. And maybe that's what he thought that he was going to get out of this relationship. But to me, I look at him as nothing but another damn Future, as in the rapper. Not Future, but Future, the rapper, who is notorious for knocking up many a girl and having a bunch of baby mamas. Like he got about 7, 8 baby mothers with, and babies with 7, 8 baby mothers. I'm exaggerating. I don't know how many kids he got, but Offset's no different. And I think a lot of times when women get in these situations, women feel that they can change these men into making them not be what they were before. Leopard can't won't change his spots, or leopard can't change his spots, as the phrase goes. But unless he's willing to change, unless he's willing to break the cycle, unless he feels that you are worthy enough to fully commit to you as a mother, as a wife, and as the woman he is truly in love with. And I don't think he is. I feel like he saw an opportunity and he thought that he could use you. Clearly, this whole situation is one big love and hip hop storyline. That's basically what it is, except for the fact that Cardi was smart enough to leave that franchise and her career is what it is today. So, now, I did like the fact that, she finally was like, I'm done with your ass. I'm done with you. we're through, we're not together, we're gonna get a divorce, whatever the case is. I don't know if divorce is in the works. I'm sure it's quite likely. But what made it worse and what really pissed me off, even though I'm like, damn, this is not my relationship, but why am I so mad? I think I was mad at the reactions of the people who, when he, okay, let me not skip. So he wound up going to one of her performances, crashed it, was let through by the publicist. I believe they share a publicist. That's probably how he was able to get through. And he went and mumble rapped his profession for her and tried to get her to take him back. Apparently, she, held her own and was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And it was what it was. But the responses of people on social media, I feel like, is what irritated me, because there were people from regular folks to even celebrities like Tank, who, in my opinion, you need to close your legs to marry men besides worrying about other people's relationships. Hello, goodbye. Yeah, worry about your own shit. People were jumping in trying to pressure Cardi to take him back. And to me, that's not your place to do that. Who are you to tell someone to take someone back or give him another chance? Y'all don't know how many chances that she's given him off camera. We only know of the few times that he's cheated on her, whatever the case is. We don't necessarily know the whole situation. So for people to go in and be like, well, you need to forgive him and you need to turn the other cheek and you need to do this for the sake of your child. No, you don't raise a child in a hostile environment where infidelity should be the exception or the norm. That is not something that we should be encouraging our families, especially people of color. For far too long, I feel like we have put up as a society with a lot of shit from a lot of people because our ancestors put up with it, because our mothers or our mothers' mothers or our mothers' mothers' mothers put up with men being, low down dirty dogs, as Miss Seeley used to say back in The Color Purple. I think in this day and age, you don't have to keep that cycle going, especially when Cardi B has a shit ton of money. She's fairly successful. She has a double platinum debut album. She's on the cover of Entertainment Weekly as the Artist of the Year. So she's definitely got a lot going for her. And I'm sure her 2019 is going to be even bigger. So I feel like focus on your career, focus on what's going on with you, and don't let that shit stain Offset tamper with your goals. Because I feel like you got the success part down, you got the career going, but your relationships, it seems like there's always something in there's always got to be that yin and yang, that the positive, the success, the negative is the relationship. So Cardi, work on trying to find a way to co-parent with this man. Don't stay with him. Don't take him back, which if you do, people are going to be looking at you like, bitch, your ass is a straight up donkey and you're dumb, that you're not that bright. And then you'll please, don't take him back, because then we don't need to give Nicki Minaj another reason to just have something over on you to post for a full, I don't even know how long her show is on Queen Radio, but she ain't got nothing else to talk about on there besides you. So, don't give this bitch no more ammunition and just focus on you. That's all. I'm rooting for you to continue to do the right thing and to work on you and your career and do what's best for your daughter, because the worst thing you can do is set an example for your child that men cheating is okay, and that's something that we as a society need to stop encouraging, to put up with bullshit. If you feel that you are worth it, if you have any kind of self-worth, you will focus on yourself, because here's the reality. Having a baby, doing all these different things is not going to keep a man from doing what he does. Offset has to be willing to change who he is as a man. You can't change him. A baby ain't going to change him. Getting knocked up again ain't going to change him. The person themselves, the individual person, has to be the one willing to wake up and be like, you know what? I love you too much to continue this behavior, and I'm willing to change for us, from you, for me, for the family, for all the other stuff. But I feel like he is in love with the idea of this whole Cardi B fame, brand, and all the amenities that it brings. And I don't think he truly loves you for you. I don't necessarily know if that's true. I'm just saying, going by my observation. And usually when I observe shit, it's correct. It's a gift we Virgos tend to have. So Follow that instinct, girl. Don't go to the darkness. Stay in the light. Okay, so now let's talk about this buffoon on Queer Eye called Karamo Brown. Now, I've always, in reality, have found him to be problematic. I've never thought that he was an iota of intelligent since his days of the real world. Back when he used to have an issue with interracial relationships, but should we start hitting the Google button and notice that he is about to be engaged to be married to a white man? So you have an issue with interracial relationships, but your man is a big old saltine. Okay. So hypocrisy much? Anyway, and then he rubbed me the wrong way when there was an article that came out that I saw in Queerty. I believe it was earlier this year, it might have been late last year, where he condemned gay pride parades, saying that it's filled with sex and he can't take his kids to the parade because it encourages sex. And it's like, what the fuck you think that the pride parades was built on? What do you think Stonewall stemmed from? The fact that gay and trans people of color were being ridiculed and arrested and harassed by police for just wanting to have a place to go to be themselves, to express themselves creatively, sexually. It was all about liberation and the revolution. And to me, it's like, do you even know your history before you start running your mouth on social media or in interviews? Or you just literally trying to just run your mouth because you need something to talk about, because clearly nobody's checking for you on Queer Eye. Another thing, what the fuck is his actual profession on that show? I don't know what the hell he does. I mean, at least we knew what Jay Rodriguez's position was and the rest of them queens from the original cast. But these bitches on the show, what the fuck does he actually do? Nothing. He doesn't do anything. So he has to come on and do interviews spouting bullshit. And the latest one is about the movie Call Me By Your Name, calling it problematic and saying that it's encouraging pedophilia in so many words. I'm paraphrasing. But he called the film, I'm going to tell you exactly what he said. He said, called the film problematic and said the age gap between Ilio and Oliver was the problem. The fact that I know that it's supposed to be like a 17-year-old, in a relationship with, I guess he was like 23 or 24 and he was in college, and Ilio's character, who was Timothy Chalamet, was in high school. But he was saying that apparently it looked like a grown man having sex with a little boy. Mind you, Timothy Chalamet, I believe, was like 20 or 21 when he shot the film, and Armie Hammer was like in his mid to late 20s when he shot it. So these are consenting adults playing a teenager and an adult in a movie. So, and where the fuck have you been that it's always been situations, especially in our community, where young men and older men have sex with each other? Not saying it's right, but also Ilio's character was the one who pursued Oliver throughout the film until Oliver gave in. So I don't know if you necessarily saw the film or you're probably just grasping at straws because you need something to talk about, like I said before. But at least if you're going to use Call Me By Your Name as a reference, at least have your facts straight when it comes to the film and what it was about and what, that whole film. Read the book, watch the movie. I loved the film, by the way. Never read the book. A friend of mine, one of my best friends, has the book and he read it and told me it was a great book. But there's always been this whole thing in our community where young men have pursued older men. Like, I remember the first time I had sex, I was a teenager and I had sex with a man who was in his 30s. So I'm not saying it's right, but when you're young and you're horny and you're, exploring your sexuality, that sort of thing, these are things that a lot of us do. And for you to try to act like this is not something in our community, like, here's another thing. With these, should we call them hotep gays? Maybe we should, like the black men who try to act woke, not only in our black community, but in our LGBTQ elemental P community, where all of a sudden, you get to a certain status and you kind of climb up into the A gay situation that you try to play this whole, oh, we're just like you, we're eunuchs, or we're this, and we can't show that we're sexual, or we're this, or we're that, because it's going to scare the straight people. I don't give a fuck. I really don't. I don't live my life for the approval of other people or the fact that I'm going to make someone else uncomfortable. We've come way too far in our community to have to always water ourselves down or pretend to be something or to, be eunuchs, because that's what a lot of them like. That we got to be the sassy one, or we got to be, the non-sexual ones. We got to be the GBF, gay best friend. For those of you who are not aware of what GBF stands for. Um, and all that other stuff. And it's like, why do we have to always compromise who we are to make other people feel comfortable? And I feel like Karamo's in that category where it's just like, he doesn't want us to be our full authentic selves. We have to be like this cookie cutter, squeaky clean version of gay people that doesn't offend those communities so that way we can get gay marriage and we can get all these other things that all of us have fought for. And we can have those things, but we should also be encouraged to live our lives out loud and in color, whether we want to do it, oh, excuse me, whether we want to do it of a sexual nature or if we want to be those eunuchs. If you want to do that, that's fine, but don't judge or come for other people who are not afraid to live out loud and in color and not live the stereotype that a lot of the media likes to portray or that some of these A-gays like to portray. But meanwhile, they be backstage, behind closed doors, with their legs up to Jesus, doing full-on bukkake shots in a goddamn sling underground at some old underground sex club, the bareback kind. So, do you, but just don't be a hypocrite. He also said, okay, I don't know if I said it before in the previous when I was talking about Call Me by Your Name, but he also said something. Oh yeah, I didn't think I did say something about the whole gay pride parade and all this stuff. But he also said that he's tired of the continued narrative of pretty white boys as the only representation of the LGBT community. While that is mostly true, there have been a lot of films that have been featured, especially if you go to like Outfest or a lot of these other festivals, or if you've actually turned on your television and watched TV like Pose. There are people of color who are making strides in our communities and are a part of the storytelling narrative. American Horror Story, we had gay witches on there. What was his name? From Pose, Pray Tell. How to forget? Fuck, I forget Billy Porter. And Billy Porter's a legend. Like, I've been following his career, and I've met him a few times, and I followed his career for like since I think the year 2000. But Pose. We've had so many other shows that are on TV. We have Laverne Cox, who's doing what she's doing. We have Jenna Mock, who's doing what she's doing. We have RuPaul's Drag Race. We have what was it? We had Moonlight that came out. There's so many movies and films that are kind of pushing forward the narrative. Yes, we still have a long way to go. Yes, there's a lot of work that needs to be done in regards of full-on representation. But pretty white boys are not the only ones whose stories are getting told. Yeah, we have like Boy Erased and what was the overrated film that came out that everybody was talking about with the little boy that came out? How the hell I forget the damn name? Where the boy comes, Love Simon. Yeah, we have that, which I thought was overrated, by the way, and a little dated in its storytelling. But I guess it was necessary for people who needed to see that representation to see it. But I feel like, especially in Trump's America and the fact that we're in 2018 going into 2019, this will be a great time for more people to tell our stories. But I feel like, you know what, Karamo? If you have an issue with the type of representation our community does, why don't you scrape some of that queer money together, and a little, that little Netflix coin, and start producing things. Since you know everything, or you're all of a sudden this political activist. Anyway, I think I'm pretty much done saying what I need to say about her. And be sure to subscribe and follow and leave your comments and let me know what you think of these stories. Do you think Cardi should take Offset back? And what do you think about people like Karamo who say these problematic comments and without merit in a way? So looking forward to hearing your thoughts. Like, subscribe, let people know about this little video that I made, and I'll be trying to make more videos depending on how juicy the stories are. And love you all for watching. Ciao, darling.